Time now for Night Court. On the docket, the New Jersey Democratic Governor, Phil Murphy, signing tough new gun control laws this week. The laws range from background checks on all private sales, requiring proof of a justifiable need if you actually want to carry a handgun in public, to a ban on magazines containing more than 10 rounds, and more. Well, the law reportedly gives gun owners 180 days to hand in or modify those kinds of magazines or face up to 18 months in jail and up to $10,000 in fines. The Association of New Jersey Rifle and Pistol Clubs is filing suit. They've done it to try to stop the law. Let's bring in our legal eagles, criminal defense attorney David Bruno and Ken Klukowski, senior counsel at First Liberty Institute. Welcome to you both, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us, Shannon.
Okay, so this is what the plaintiff has to say. This unconstitutional law will be ignored by criminals and madmen and affects only law-abiding citizens. It turns 1 million people into criminals with the stroke of a pen, limits self-defense, and takes away property lawfully acquired. Buy it yesterday, ban it today, go to prison tomorrow. It's the Jersey way. And the goal of our lawsuit is to boot this law, which makes no one safer, into the trash heap of history where it belongs. David, that's rather colorful. You're a Jersey guy. What's your response?
I am. Former assistant prosecutor, and I practice criminal defense.
Yeah.
This is going to be a constitutional law, and I say that because we have some precedent, although it's not legally binding. It's out of the Second Circuit and the Ninth Circuit. In those cases, the circuit courts have found that the California, Connecticut, and New York laws that also banned over 10 rounds was found constitutional under immediate scrutiny. So that is really what I anticipate would happen with this case as well as the Third Circuit decision.
Okay, I want to play a little bit of what the governor had to say at the bill signing for these various laws. Here's what he said.
Smart, comprehensive, and common sense gun safety laws will do much more to keep our communities safe than the guns on every street corner and guns in every classroom thinking of the gun lobby.
Guns on every street corner and guns in every classroom, Ken.
Well, I'll tell you, Shannon, I think that that this law, when it goes up on appeal, is going up to the Third Circuit. And that circuit, by an 8-7 vote a couple years ago, actually struck down a federal, not just a state, but a federal gun control law. And I think the lawsuit is exactly correct. There are 9 million people in New Jersey. 1 million of them are instantly turned into criminals just because there's no grandfather provision even for firearms that they already have. Over 30% of firearms use more than 10 rounds. So when you're doing this, the Second Amendment is a fundamental right. And this lawsuit is being argued by no one less than the law firm of Chuck Cooper, the former head of the DOJ's elite Office of Legal Counsel. I mean, these people really have like a ninja master team litigating this case on their behalf, and they're right. It violates the Second Amendment. It violates Fifth Amendment taking clause rights because the government is saying you have to throw away all this property that you have, and they're not giving you any compensation for it. And it's an equal protection violation because it treats some classes of people differently than others and provides no reasoned basis in that regard. So, I mean, this is going to be a very serious lawsuit as it goes up on appeal.
Well, and David, to that point, a lot of folks are most concerned about the fact that there's no grandfathering. Instead of just, there'd be a lawsuit even if they were saying all purchases going forward, I have a feeling. But in this case, they basically are giving you several options, including turning in what you have to law enforcement. Do you think that part of this law withstands constitutional scrutiny as well, the fact that there's no grandfathering, and something that a lot of people would argue feels like confiscation?
Certainly the best argument, absolutely. But listen, we've talked about circuit courts right now. What we really need to hear from is the United States Supreme Court. Just like in that Heller case. The Heller case said that the Second Amendment is not absolute. Interesting enough, in the Ninth Circuit case in 2014, the U.S. Supreme Court had the opportunity to stay the 10-round law, and a Justice Kennedy opinion did not. So that's all we've really heard from the United States Supreme Court on the ammunition. So finally, I think they need to step up and clarify this for the nation.
Yeah, Ken, quickly, do you think they will? Because they've turned away a lot of appeals that people thought were teed up to answer some of these questions. And Justice Thomas, in writing a dissent to one of those decisions, said they're treating the Second Amendment like a second-rate or second-tier constitutional right. it should be on par with all the rest of them.
That's right. The Supreme Court hasn't taken up any case since Heller in 2008 and McDonald in 2010. They certainly need to. They've turned down a number of gun control challenges recently. And I think as we're looking at potentially changing membership on the U.S. Supreme Court, that may break the logjam in terms of getting these issues there over the next couple of years.
Do you know something we need to know? We are standing by. I'll be back at the court Monday for opinions and any announcements any of the justices would like to make. All right, David and Ken, thank you both very much.
Thanks so much, Shannon. God bless.
Have a great weekend.
All right, you too, everybody at home.